Assassination Classroom, Season 1, Episode 13. He's earned some credibility after what we've seen from him against, damn it, I was gonna call her B Sensei. Yeah, that's kind of the surprising thing about this group. They're actually a great group of kids. They work really hard. He makes it look so effortless. Oh, they got him. Yeah, I mean, he's happy to have a place where he can actually execute his intelligence. He was never a bad student. I think it's just one of those situations where it's a mismatch of the person and the environment. So far, I can't say I love his particular brand of outlook or person, but I relate to what he represents to me so strongly. The reason it comes up for me so often is because it's a really important thing for me. Where like the things that you experience and see commonly, the water you swim in is really important to pay attention to. But often the exceptional thing one has is discounted by that system. I really don't like this thing you hear, like in Arcane, what makes you different makes you special, because it's not necessarily that there's something inherently valuable about having something different. That is to say, the difference itself is not the valuable thing. But I think it often is the case that what makes you special probably will make you different. And there's such a great cost at like discarding that amazing thing that you have because you have no evidence of it working. But like, of course, there's not a lot of evidence for it working because it's like a unique gift. And so people will fight you on that thing. Haruma is the type of student. His gifts are not a match for traditional schooling, but he has so many gifts. And it just takes like the right environment and right people to see that. Or just total faith in himself and time. Yeah, I was about to say, is that how you really feel? Oh, I guess so. He felt the fear, the primal fear of the bloodlust. Koro-sensei maybe knows. They really respect him and admire him. And I think he's earned it. I mean, I think that's appropriate. There might be something there that is worth addressing, but my general sense is that most of it is going to be, he's very committed to an output for them, which is great. I mean, he's very sincere in wanting them to succeed. And I don't think it's all about just like saving the earth. Even that monologue was expressing real deep felt feelings for them. And he's committed to what he thinks is the best methodology towards that goal, for which emotional distance might be appropriate. Yeah. Bringing in a friend. Phone a friend. He looks nice. First impression. Karasuma is a human, even though it's hard to fully accept sometimes for your teachers. He has a social life, he has hobbies, he has fears, all that. In the 6th grade, I went trick-or-treating in my neighborhood. At one of the houses I went to get candy, my teacher opened the door. And it was such a weird thing. Actually, I really liked her as a teacher. And to this day, she's one of the only examples I have of teachers I love. And she really, really did a lot for me in ways I only could realize later. But it was just weird, like, seeing her in her life. Like, oh, you have a home? Like, you live in a house? I don't know what I thought before that. I just assumed, like, teachers crawl back into their holes at the end of the day. Slither back into their caves. La Hermes, that's an upscale bakery. New favorite teacher immediately. We don't really know Mr. Karasuma though. We know his like teacher mode, which is not necessarily his, whole self. It's not his whole self. I mean, we also don't know this guy. I bet he's brutal. Yeah, there's a little bit of like bribery. Is that the right word? But I mean, that works too, yeah. It just depends on your unique gifts and approach, I guess. I sort of do think it's important that students like you. Like is not the right word. It's terrible they don't respect you, but there are a lot of ways to build that dynamic. Maybe one of the key elements of it is actually integrity and honesty, whatever the approach is. Oh, let's not torture the students now. Okay, yeah, he's pretty harsh. I had a feeling he was buttering them up a little bit too much. As long as the main priority here is the students, and it's for them, and not some internal cruelty coming out or whatever. Uh-oh. Yeah, okay, I saw that coming. We went full into abuse. Well, this person is not seeming so nice and friendly anymore. Damn, that was even darker. That nice, sweet scene. Whiplash. He just broke them with their expectations. Carrot and stick. Cake and stick. Do you have a choice? Oh my god. You can't be doing that. You can't be slapping your students. Did you not do any vetting? You really should have looked at those pictures before the hire, but okay. Yeah, now it's starting to seem like mental illness. No, they don't. But okay, let's just roll with it. This is easier to swallow than, you know, that microwave being a real student. Also, don't you hate the AI student more because she doesn't have to do this? There's gotta be lines though, man. I think you can push them to their limits, that's fine. You can make them work really hard. You can make them do refreshing hill sprints. I mean, even the Haikyuu coaches did that, as evil as that was. But you can't be like assaulting your students. That's not like, you know, sparring or something. Like Karasuma spars with them but doesn't like destroy them. He just sucker punched that girl. Sucker slapped. You can't make up for sucker punching someone with sweets, even if they're from La Hermes. Okay, well here's like the internal problems as opposed to being for the kids. This is interesting though, because putting aside the personal vendetta, I feel like this is something that people do think. This is a part of education, just a very extreme representation. That's a slapping. Or a full fist. Okay, yeah, no, we can't let this happen. He's leave. He needs to get out. How about just don't get violent? Stop like punching the female students or any student. Really, it's just the punching. Is there no like oversight here? There's no, I mean, it's Assassination Classroom. They're trying to kill an alien, so, or synthetic being. Nor should they be. I'll bet Karma's ready for this. Maybe Nagisa also. This reminds me of The Sopranos when everyone's questioning his physical health. No! The answer is no. Yeah, there is that element of it, right? But no. No. About what the crazy teacher said about how it's okay if 50% of them fall off if it produces greatness. I think this actually is, consciously or not, a part of education and the broader world of work. The goal probably is to help everyone on some minimum level, right? But that's not the only goal, or not necessarily the main goal, which might be to sort through everyone and find the gems that are highly useful to whatever aim. And that itself is not even necessarily a bad thing. I think the issue is that that is not voiced or understood enough. So we kind of go into these things thinking it was designed to be as much for us as it was for anyone, not understanding that there are no guarantees to that and it's kind of in our hands. And even I would argue should be more in our hands to decide whether to participate or not at all. Speaking of different people being better fit for different environments, which I think ends up being one of the things behind that kind of end result bitterness of like, well, I did everything I was supposed to, but I didn't get what I was promised. It's because the promise was kind of a lie to begin with. The promise was there to like get you in to the sorting circle. The positive side of this though is that although of course not everyone's difficulty level is created equal, everyone has different circumstances and base traits, there are no chosen ones or not chosen ones. Everyone has a shot at succeeding at it. It just has to be made clear that that's kind of in your hands, that participation is not inherently a good or a guarantee of any reward. As soon as you can, you have to start being really critical about yourself, what you're doing, and if you want to do it, and if you're participating in it, how you can crush it, etc. It can't be left up to the institutions.
僕はこの人の目が好きだ。こんなにまっすぐ目を見て話してくれる人は家族にもいない。
Speaking of family.
この先生の渡すナイフなら信頼できる。それに神崎さんと前原くんのこと許せない。
It's great when that sort of faith in one's potential and possibility comes from support figures, because it doesn't always.
なんで渚なの？
Chronos. Yeah, right, I thought so.
赤岡にとってこの勝負は 見せしめのための戦闘だ。対して君は暗殺。
Well, you have permission to
強さを
murder.
示す必要もなく、ただ一回当てればいい。そこに君の勝機がある。
I mean, putting the insanity aside, one point of credit to this guy is that he's willing to die for his teaching methods.
こんなもの本気で使えないと。俺はな、それに気づいた青ざめるど素人が大好きだ。
I don't know if that's Nagisa. I think you might be underestimating. You don't know about the bloodlust.
戦って勝たなくたっていい。殺せば勝ちなんだ。
Whoops.
だから僕は笑って普通に歩いて近づいた。
Second thoughts.
通学路を歩くみたいに普通に。
I'm suddenly very nervous. Oh, okay.
高岡先生は気づいた。誰だって殺されかけたらギョッとする。
How do you know that?
正面からだと防がれるので背後に回って。
Is this happening or is this like pre-thought? Wow, this is really happening. Wow.
殺気を隠して近づく才能。殺気で相手をひるませる才能。
That's my secret. I'm always bloodlusting.
咲かせてもいい才能なのか。
あれ、峰打ちじゃダメなんでしたっけ？
It's good that you did. Yes, someone needs to step in here. We need an adult.
まったく本物のナイフを生徒に持たすなど
He let it happen. He said he told Irina to watch.
烏丸先生に言われた通りやっただけで高岡先生強いから。いた？
Okay.
叩くの？
なあ悪いちょっと信じられなくてでもサンキュー
You kind of redeemed us and saved us from this man.
このガキ、父親も同然の俺に歯向かって。
This is where I think, well, God, where to begin? Where he goes wrong. I mean, there's many ways he goes wrong, but
父親を押し付ける高岡先生よりプロに徹する烏丸先生の方が僕はあったかく感じます。
yeah, that's exactly it.
本
Right.
気で僕らを強くしようとしてくれてたのは感謝します。でもごめんなさい。出て行ってください。
Right. Like I said, I think the key thing is something like respect. Students over enough time can basically intuit who a person is, what a teacher is, and what their real agenda is. And if it's for the students, and students pick up on that, which some students are just determined to have the class burn. But for the most part, students will see, like, oh, he actually is like really trying for us and cares. And then there's like a bunch of different methodologies that can work. It'd be fine. And students will adapt to. And not just teacher students, but everything, every role. And to give this guy's methodology some credit, just following the story, for them, the world is at stake. They have to be good at assassination. It doesn't matter if their feelings are hurt or if they sustain physical injury in that sense. You could make that argument even if that's not typical and unconventional. But where I feel he actually fails is that it's not really about the students. It's about his ego and getting revenge on Karasuma and control because of some insecurity or something, some personality defect that then gets dumped on the students. They are used as a vehicle for his own emotional problems. And then he's using the merits of his methodology and the importance of their goal as an excuse for that.
教師として一番嬉しい瞬間は迷いながら自分が与えた教えに生徒がはっきり答えを出してくれた時です。生徒がはっきり出した答えには先生もはっきり答えなくてはなりません。
What are you suggesting, Koro-sensei? Take your donuts and get out of here.
やらせるか、そんなこと。俺が先に掛け合って。
This man needs to be in prison, not just fired. Oh, interesting. This is an interesting litmus test.
高岡先生。
Yeah, okay, I thought so. You're fired. That's great. These visuals, this visual representation of talking to this man. Oh, okay, there's an attack him. I mean, obviously. Man, these kids are in a dark world. See, that's what I'm saying. We're not opposed. Yes, but with other things as well.
答えに迷うでしょう。
Yeah, it's a tough one, but especially or specifically for assassination. But I think Koro-sensei probably has the answer there, which is that there's something deeper than just the course material. And honestly, I say that despite myself, because I hate that element of education where teachers think it's their job to teach you how to function in society. I guess the distinction is, are you qualified to do that? And like the teacher we just saw, how much of that is just your own ego getting in the way and just trying to enforce your own order on things? Is it really for the student?
内心は散々迷いながら生徒の前では毅然として教えなくてはいけない。決して迷いを悟られぬよう堂々とね。
That part maybe just not possible.
生徒の努力で体育教師に返り咲けたし、なんか臨時報酬あってもいいんじゃない？そうそう高岡先生、そういうのだけは充実してたよね。
That was a lie. The cake was a lie.
これで食いたい
Oh, we get the wallet. You made a big mistake.
今回はろくな活躍なかったよな。
I mean, I think he did something by like staying out of it. That's hard for him.
ほっといて。
Yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to agree. He was watching.
この教室でハマってしまっているのかもな。迷いながら人を育てる面白さに。
It's really nice. It's really great and sweet. Anything for cake, I guess. Well, that did not go the way I expected it to, but great. I'm guessing most people have this experience where everybody's experienced certain teachers, right? But there's a difference qualitatively in how you feel about one versus the other, even if on the surface, their methodologies seem the same. I would say for me, some of the key factors that go into me being okay with that kind of thing are like, wow, real expertise. Like this person knows what they're doing and knows what they're talking about. Character. This person leads by example. Heart and intention. This feels like it's not about them and their ego. They don't hate us. The teacher really believes that this thing we're doing is good and is good for us and is doing it for us, not for their own benefit, not for their own fragile egos, not trying to impose a very narrow viewpoint of the world because they themselves can't handle a more expansive view of the world or life or behavior or society or whatever. You look at Karasuma and you know, and the students know that he's tough because he cares about them and he thinks this is the way they can become good at the thing they're studying. Maybe a very simple way to look at it is there's no cruelty. Being cruel is different from being severe, right? You can be very demanding, make things very difficult, but if it's done purposefully and ethically, that's a lot better, obviously, than I want to see you suffer. I want to see you crumble and realize that you're just stupid compared to me, this glowing genius of a teacher. Teach you a lesson about the severities of life, the unfairness of the world in which I could not succeed or fulfill any of my own dreams.